Liverpool Girlies, episode 3, take 5. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Liverpool Girlies podcast, a place where we welcome anyone who loves to obsess over Liverpool FC and wants to talk about everything from Szobo playing at right back to Milos Kerkez ordering a flat white at the coffee bar. My name is Molly Ann, and I'm here with Annika and Stephanie. We are 3 friends who love Liverpool and also dream of one day having a cup of coffee at the AXA Training Center coffee bar. So, big week. We had Newcastle this week. What are the vibes? How are we feeling?
I'm so glad to have week 2 over. I know when we got our schedule, it was very divided on whether people were happy that all the hard stuff was at the beginning. It was just like a really rough start for us. I'm glad that we're getting it out of the way to get our feet under ourselves. But I was dreading that game. I was dreading it so much. And I'm glad that it's done.
Yeah. Happy to be on the other side of week 2. And I'm excited to have a weekend match next weekend. It's a little funny to have weekdays, but it's also nice to have more football throughout the week. I can never complain too much about that. But yeah, Newcastle was exciting and memorable to say the least.
Yeah, I'm super excited to talk about it and get y'all's thoughts on, because it was a good one. It was cinematic, I feel like you could say.
For sure.
It has been the talk of the town the last 24 hours on social media. So
yes, it's so fun to see so many people enjoying the match who aren't even Liverpool or Newcastle fans. That's when you know you have a fun match on your hands for sure.
Yeah.
Last week, we started a new segment called I'm Sorry, But, and Annika has an I'm sorry topic today. Now, the 3 of us can just get on a tangent and keep going for a very long time. And I love that about us. But in order to keep this nice and short and we'll practice our conciseness, we're going to have this be 1 minute. So Annika, when you start talking, I'm going to hit start and I'll give you a time update.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
I'm sorry, but we need to talk about the similarities between Mo Salah and Harry Styles. Okay, stick with me. Stick with me. Like many of you, I did watch the PFA speech and Mo's acceptance of his award. Props to Mo. And I noticed when he was walking on stage, they're playing Golden by Harry Styles. And all of a sudden, a tapestry forms in front of my eyes. And I'm like, wait, Harry Styles and Mo Salah, they have some similarities and we must discuss them. And I know this might be shocking, but as a big Harry Styles fan as well, Harry and Mo both, they have 2-act careers, okay? Mo talked a little bit about his time at Chelsea and then he went to play Italy. And Harry also started as a boy band, then had his solo career second. So I just feel like they have those 2 acts and they're both extremely self-disciplined. Oh my gosh. Extremely self-disciplined. And they focus a lot on improving themselves, motivating themselves. And I both think they're awesome and I love them so much.
Time. I gave you 3 extra seconds, so you're welcome.
Thanks.
That, honestly, yeah. I can't believe they played Golden for him.
I love it. And just also aesthetically, I just also not like what they look like, but just the auras that they have. I just feel like they have similar auras. I appreciate them in similar ways. I'm sorry, that's all I'll say. Anyway, what are your guys' thoughts?
I love that. I never could have made that connection on my own, but I love that you were able to find that.
Catch me making a Harry Styles x Mo Salah playlist, having that on repeat.
Please.
We'll be hearing that in the future. Egyptian King, Golden. Egyptian King, treat people with kindness, okay? It's just going to go back and forth.
One day you'll get to meet Mo and tell him that he is Harry Styles. I wonder if he knows who Harry Styles is.
In my heart, like, I can picture Mo doing the satellite stomps on the floor in Wembley, okay? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Who does Harry Styles support? Which football team? I can't remember.
Oh.
Is it Man United?
Aston Villa? Oh, maybe Man United. It's a team
not
that
Liverpool.
It's not.
I think
it's Harry from Manchester. Listen, I didn't say he was flawless,
but
I can just imagine Mo listening to Harry Styles. And I bet Harry Styles knows who Mo Salah is too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Speaking of Mo, we had the PFAs, like you said, Annika. We had 4 players.
Yeah,
4 players in the team here.
Mac, which is Gravenberch, Mo, and Kerkez. So
yeah, so technically 5.
Yeah,
technically 5.
The aura of Virgil van Dijk.
Oh,
Those
his
pictures.
sparkle is coming back.
Yeah.
His sparkle is coming back. I can
The sunglasses, the pictures getting out of the car. I was like, oh, yes, we're here.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
Among
So
many
pictures-
reasons, this is why he is our captain.
And the getting ready photos of Mac with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
sweet.
gosh.
So
They're
sweet.
So special.
So speaking of players of the year, team of the year, we did see a moment at the coffee bar this last week where they got their championship 20th Premier League title books. And it was just really cute. That's when Milos walked down, ordered his flat white. Like they're just all hanging out in the morning, like we love to see. But what I loved the most in that moment was they had the books out and I noticed that they were signing them. And so at first I thought it was like, oh, signing them like perfect, like for other things, fans or to sell. But I went into an article that Liverpool published and they said that they were just signing the books for each other. And
I
also
didn't know
yes, yeah,
that.
so they were
So
just signing the
sweet.
books to share with each other. And I was like, it's giving yearbook like last day of summer vibes. And it was just so cute and so sweet, like watching some of them walk around and hand off their book to get signed and bring it back. So I loved that moment. Also, just shouting out the Champions documentary that just came out. I watched it last weekend. It is a great watch. I think those moments maybe where you are feeling stressed. This season, it's a good de-stressor because we know how it ends and it ends really well. So I highly recommend watching that. And then within that, I'll give Curtis Jones a little shout out. I won't regurgitate the whole interview, but he just talks about how much having Giselle has changed him. And he is something to the effect of, I've played 100 games at Liverpool before Giselle. And he was like, I was there, like I showed up, but he was like, I'm a different human. Like she has changed me. And like when I show up, it's different now. So there's just really sweet moment. Shout
So
out
sweet.
Champions 20. It still carries on into this season via yearbooks and documentaries.
Love
On the
it.
yearbook note, Liverpool posted like a year ago today when we'd be was it the Bournemouth game, Annika, that you went to? Brentford. Okay. They posted the goal that Luis Diaz got. It was Jots assisted Luis and got the goal like basically right in front of you when you were at that match in Liverpool.
It was incredible.
Yeah, and seeing like the starting lineup and seeing a couple of major plays that they had posted from that match a year ago, it just felt so nostalgic. So I couldn't, it was so weird because that's two players that aren't on our team anymore. And it was just like, well, it was heartbreaking and not like, and I'm excited about the new year, but it was like last year was so special. And even in the moment, we all knew this is incredibly special. There were going to be changes next year. Like, I want to make sure that I soak it in as much as I can and appreciate it while we have it. But that was just like that was amazing, especially since we do know how it ended.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Talking about changes and Lucho, we're currently at the end of a transfer window. So as we wrap this one up, we've already seen a lot of changes, but what are y'all's thoughts on how you think the transfer window is going to end? Do you think we're going to get anyone else, sell anyone else? What are you thinking?
I just am like, there's been so much change. Like, I am curious what is going to happen. And I'm also not familiar just because of last season being such a slow transfer window. I'm like, how much to the last minute are we pushing these things? There are some people who I wouldn't be surprised if we see leave, but I also would be very happy to keep with us for the next season. But yeah, what are you thinking, Molly-Ann? Love to know.
On the note of people leaving, I anticipate Semi goes somewhere else. I did read amongst the thousands of online rumors around the transfer window, someone saying that Liverpool's really wants him to be sold and not go out on a loan. And so just waiting on the option there. But with him not even being on the bench the last two matches, I would assume Semi parts ways with
still
Liverpool
at the training center. And
he's still there training, just not actually having the opportunity to play in a match. So I think he goes. I hope we see just maybe some more defensive players. I'd love to see Mark Dahey if that, I don't know what the stages of that look like. That's where I feel like we could use the most support.
I agree.
I think we're seeing a lot of speed up front, a lot of chances, but it's just a lot of space because defensively we need a little bit more. We have Leone, we just haven't seen him play, so I don't know how he shows up in that. But I would love just a little more. Virg's getting that red card, and in that moment, it's like, if Virg was actually hurt, what do we do?
Yeah.
So would just love to see a little more support in the back. Fingers crossed for that. I would love for ideally I don't want anyone to go, but don't want anyone else to go.
We just sold so many people.
I know.
The bench is just, I feel like last year, anytime we had to make a sub, it was like our whole bench was a starting 11.
Absolutely.
And so I was just like, oh, this is the way it must always be. And to be now like, oh, and it's not as deep. It's not bad. It's just not as deep.
Yeah. And that's what Arne was saying too about the benefits in his interview, I think, with Raj on Men in Blazers. He was talking about the benefits of not making a lot of changes over a transfer window, and that you essentially have the same team 2 seasons in a row. And so you have a lot of people who are like, what kind of connections they have, they're ready to go. And you get that feel of 2 starting teams in the depth of squad, which it just, even our starting feels really thin right now because they're just all still gelling and also figuring it out. And so I'm curious to see like next season, not to jump too far ahead, but like, do we also see a pretty busy transfer window, or is it quieter and we're seeing this same squad work it out again? I don't know. I'm just curious to see what direction they're going to take it. But yeah, I agree. Obviously, like Isak has still been the talk of, I saw something floating around. I don't know if you guys saw this about perhaps a bid to transfer Chiesa to Newcastle and Isak to Liverpool. I don't know. I also think that defensively is where I'm more curious at this point because we're seeing a lot of momentum at the front, which is great.
The Liverpool girlies were back together again, and we got to watch a match all together. And it had been a long time since we got to do that. Like Everton, no, it wasn't even.
Well,
Everton
we watched
year.
the Community Shield together.
Oh, that's true.
But a proper Premier League game, it's been a minute.
For me, I was not looking forward to this match, and it is just not the best environment to go into in that stadium. I just don't like Newcastle.
It's fair. The number of times we did during the match say, ew, gross, was a lot.
Newcastle just gives me the ick. So I decided to try to be as positive as I could and to think of the funniest moments from the whole match because it was a roller coaster. Arne coming out a couple of minutes into the second half and going, wait, what happened? What happened after Ekitike had scored in the first 20 seconds was hilarious. The moment that Virgil got knocked down by Gordon when Milos went over to Gordon, and like Milos is just so much smaller than Gordon. He's like, how old is he? 20, 21. And he's like bumping his chest against him and just like trying to be big and like defending Virgil, that is an energy we need to protect your skipper at all costs. And then the fact that Newcastle was schooled by a 16-year-old in 4 minutes, I think is really hilarious. So those were my funny moments, like literal laugh out loud. I can look back and those things bring a smile to my face.
That's great. I love that. Yes. Humor is a good way to cope with the stress.
That's all you can do. So, Liverpool versus Newcastle. What are y'all's thoughts?
Number one thought is Dominic Szobo is a machine. That is the story. That is it. I feel like we could end right there. I know we have more to say, but to play in a position he has played in once before during a preseason friendly, and he was incredible. I just was like, yes, Szobo. I was at the Liverpool-Everton match at Anfield last season, and if you get to watch him in person, please go do it because watching him on TV does not do him justice. He is full out, full intensity for 90 minutes, does not stop. And you just don't see that through a camera. He was just incredible, earned man of the match.
The fact that people have been so hard on him for a few weeks, and this whole time I'm like, guys, like just let him cook. He's phenomenal. He has not been the best at passing. He's lost a lot of chances, lost the ball a handful of times over the last couple matches. I'm so glad that he got his time to shine, and especially in a position that he's not normally in. He second best defender on the pitch on Monday. He was outstanding. At the end of the game, I was like, I need to see his heat map. So whichever one of you sent that to me, thank you so much for Premier League posting that. Oh, his heat map is insane. Like insane.
Yes. He was remarkable. Watching him is so much fun. And I think that was like in summary of, I would say, I guess the first half of the match is I kept on being like, this isn't that fun to watch because it was just so stop and go. And a lot of people have acknowledged that is just Newcastle's playing style. That's how they are such a powerhouse. But it's frustrating to watch when you're a team where I'm like, no, I love seeing what we're cooking up. And it's, okay, we're stopping again.
Yeah.
And so having different players on the pitch where I'm like, oh, but whatever you're doing when you have an opportunity is so fun to watch was really great. And so Szobo brought a lot of joy to me watching. Yeah, I thought that it was going into it, I was feeling pretty like Newcastle's a hard team to play. We're going away. It's early in the season. I feel that nothing's guaranteed, but I just felt like it wouldn't be too defining if it didn't go our way, was how I felt. So I didn't have a lot of stress, but then as soon as kickoff began and I just like the vibes of the intensity between the players on the pitch started to seep out of the screen. And I was like, oh, wait, now I'm taking this on. Some games I am watching and I find myself morphing into the corner of the room or crawling into the corner of the couch. And it was one of those matches where I was just like recoiling. But it wasn't the same momentum that we saw during the Community Shield and the first match of immediately just feeling like, oh, we have so much control. But there still was so much beginning of the game momentum. Immediately we saw Virgil trying to get in the heads of different players. He is so
he was outstanding. It's taken him a little bit to get back under his footing. He's a leader to all these brand new players that are coming in, and they have the pressure of, oh, we have the title, like we need to keep it. There's just so much going on, especially for him. But I'm so glad that we got to see Virgil and his aura on the pitch, the way that he kept his teammates chill and he led them and controlled their emotions. I'm just so curious what the conversations were surrounding this game in the locker room, what Virg had to say, what Arne had to say, because they all knew, it was all in the media, that it was going to be an intense game, especially coming from the supporters of Newcastle. And huge props to them, the atmosphere that they created.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So much.
It was crazy. And the fact that all of the away supporters were all the way up, like they weren't even next to the pitch. That is a genius move by Newcastle to do that. Anyway, Virgil had a really good control. We didn't see a lot of emotion come from our players. And I bet that was a really great self-control from all of them, because I'm sure we could only see the physicality of it. We can't even hear the things that these players are saying into the ears of these athletes. So anyway, I'm just really curious about how Virgil led that leading up in the week leading up to it.
Yeah. I definitely had some stress seeing like the really early yellow card for Ryan and then the yellow for Konate. I was just feeling on the edge of my seat. Okay, be cool, make smart decisions. Let's not jeopardize this match or Arsenal next week. And so while I wasn't like necessarily seeing a lot of the emotions play out, I was just very aware of how they're handling it. I do want to give a shout out to Curtis Jones, because he is someone who knows when to bring the heat and how to do it. And seeing the way that he had just a few touches but he would step in, he was like cool as a cucumber, but intense. And that was exactly the energy we needed. And I think it helped the other boys figure out what lane to stick in terms of bringing that intensity without the like distracted like frustration. So that's my shout out for Curtis. What did you think, Molly Ann?
Yeah, definitely very physical match. I think going into it, like y'all, was interested to see how emotions played out, how fans played out. I was really proud of how our team showed up. Kerkez had a moment where it really easily could have tipped the wrong way. And he's young and he's learning and just is naturally really intense. And so I was proud of him. He was in it, like he was there. He could have gone across the line, but the team like stepped in. He listened, responded really well. So that was great. But I thought it was so fun to watch. I mean, definitely stressful in the moments, but when we started, I was like, y'all, we're going to score 2. We're going to tie. We're going to win.
Yes, you did call that.
And I was just like, I believe in me. So.
No, at one point,
and I believe in my control over the game, and we're going to do this.
And we're literally level. We're 2-2. Molly Ann gets up to go to the bathroom, and she's like, don't worry, we'll score again. And we're just like, she's like, no stress. I'm like,
so anyway, yeah, I just was like, I knew it was going to be intense. I wish we had more fluidity in our play. And I think especially second half, we started to see moments of that where we would be like, oh, it feels like last year. Like we have the ball, we're in control. So I love seeing that, but it was just fun. It was a roller coaster. Honestly, I would love every match we go up, we tie, we end with a last minute winner because the thrill.
It is exciting.
So,
My heart would not be able to handle that for 36 more
y'all
games.
Didn't grow up watching Auburn football. Like I've been my cardio has been trained for this. My heart is prepared for the last minute winners.
I love that. The Seahawks are definitely a fourth quarter team, so I do empathize with that. Yeah. Speaking of you reading and predicting the future, you did last week say that you saw the beginnings of a set piece between Hugo, Virg, and Kanate, and we got to see that play out this week. So I just wanted to give you a shout out. Nice eagle eye there.
Yeah, I love seeing them scheme. I love that the camera also caught that, and so we got to see them scheming. You know, it's still in that moment, like Hugo was more up front. You could tell whatever they planned out was like for him to go forward. It didn't pan out, but once they figured out, like I'm really excited to see the 3 of them. So really loved seeing them and excited to see how that like their dynamic. And once they figure it out in set pieces, really excited to see what happens there.
Absolutely. And speaking of set pieces, I did want to shout out a moment that made me laugh, which was the, what was it, better in theory free kick that Newcastle took. Yeah, so I can't remember who on their team took the free kick, but it went ahead and it didn't touch anyone. It just shot through.
There was a huge
like a bowling alley, like. And then the pundits just said, perhaps that was better in theory. So that brought me a little bit of joy. I was like, okay, I don't think that had quite the impact we were hoping it would, but yeah, you know, it's early in the season. Set piece magic is still cooking.
Yeah,
still trying to figure it out.
Just a little bit. It was really nice to see Ryan back. So happy to have his energy. He's just so chill and he still gets a lot of yellows. I very much appreciate because we needed that in the middle. I really missed having Mac though. I feel that his temperament would have been very helpful. It was rumored that his partner was having a baby at that point, but then we found out afterwards that he was injured. Hopefully he'll be back sometime soon.
Mac back.
I just love him. So yes, the midfield was looking good, even with Szobo pulling to the back.
Do we see Szobo as in the right back position?
I see Szobo as a jack of all trades, and I see him as a person who has the grit and the leadership ability to step in and fill any role that he can, and he has the mental capacity to go into those really hard situations where, you know, backline's looking thin. He's got a very good player that he's defending, and he has to make quick, smart calls often. And I think he's a reliable guy. Arne can see that too, hence why he was placed in that position and given that opportunity.
This is why Szobo vice captain 2025. All of those reasons. This is why I think he should be our vice captain.
I would love to see that. I mean, I do think I want Mac to be as healthy as possible. Arne has started planting seeds in his post-conference interviews that make me think he's very preparing our hearts for Mac to not play as much this season, mostly just because he's acknowledged that because Mac missed so much of the preseason training, it's hard for him to have the level of fitness to fall back on. So if he's already dealing with injuries, it just sounded like Arne wasn't quite sure how long it's going to take for Mac to be at that full level that he was at last season. And he worked so hard. So I would just say if that is the case, which would break my heart, perhaps someone who's on the pitch more would be seeing the vice captaincy, but we'll see.
Going back to that Szobo like flexibility piece, one, I think that is something our team is really great. Like we have Endo, we have Elliott, Jones, like we'll just go in and play anywhere.
Yeah.
But watching Szobo in that last minute, like letting the ball go past him, trusting that Rio was going to be there. One, just like this thought in that split second to trust his teammate that he can't see and is 16 to be there. But I think to me, more importantly, the fact that he could have tried to take that and made the game-winning shot, and he chose to let his teammate take that shot just speaks volumes about who he is. And like he could have been the hero and he let it go, hoping he didn't look silly for not intercepting the ball.
Yeah. And
I've been trying to watch those videos and figure out when was the last time that Szobo had looked behind him to see when Rio, and it was a long time before that.
Oh, yeah. Because Rio did a post-match interview and they asked him, like, did you call for it? And he was like, no. They were so far apart. He truly just trusted that his teammate was going to be there.
I could count in one shot, I could see 5 Newcastle players right there. And in Szobo's head, I'm sure, okay, one is the keeper. And if he can see so many people clustered right there, it has to be open behind him, and there has to be a player behind him. So it's so incredibly intelligent.
And I just think good leaders know when to give it up and let the people that they're leading take charge. And we see that in Szobo. The leadership abilities are dripping from him. I can't wait to see what he does this season with our team.
Yeah. And as a dad. Yes. Speaking of defending, how are y'all feeling about Konate? I just want to do a little bit of a temperature check.
I think I need to see more before I draw a conclusion. It was out of character. This match felt out of character for him in terms of his ability to clear things, but I'm not feeling so strongly one way or another. I just think, I want to see more.
The same. I'd like to see more. I would imagine playing literally side by side with Virgil. Like you're going to be commanded to do better. I don't know that Konate's gonna have the option. So, but he showed up so many times last season that I believe he can do it. And
he hasn't lost my trust.
To see us sign some more defensive players.
Yes, I just keep seeing comments. It's just so hard because everyone's so quick to be so negative, but there's so many comments that are like, oh, Konate's already learning Spanish. Like,
Virgil commands excellence. He knows how to lead a team to success. And as long as we're not seeing Virgil come unglued to anyone on the pitch, we're probably going to be okay.
Watching him grow as a captain since the first game 2 seasons ago has been really fun too.
Yeah. And on the Konate note, I can't remember how exactly it all transpired. There was just a moment where it was Konate and Ali coming in on the ball. And he jumped over Ali. He got out of the way. And that is not something we could see him doing last season. I feel like there were multiple times where Konate and Ali were having a moment after there was something that happened and they were resetting. And he's
I completely agree. That is a huge improvement. I think it was just Stephanie pointed out when we were watching it, his clearances were high and inconsistent. And last season, I was just used to them being very swift and certain. And so it felt out of character, but also intense environment. We were seeing other things that he was doing well. The back line was in a different place. I'm sure he felt very aware of the fact that they were missing a right back there. Turned out okay, but I don't know. I just think that I want to see more unfold. Looking forward to seeing him play more.
I just get so defensive of these players because it's literally been 2 games. And especially for Ibu and Flo. Everyone's just so quick to say, oh, that was a terrible signing. That's a flop. That's a flop.
Mhm.
Terrible. Get them out of here. I'm just like, it is a transition season. Their roles on the pitch have changed. Letting people
Mhm.
get used to that, just give them time to cook. I
Yeah.
really think in my core that you give us 8, 9 weeks and letting them settle in. And one day I feel like it's just going to end up clicking and it's going to be that we're going to get clean sheets again and they're just going to be unstoppable. I have full faith in them. Konate has shown us so many times what his capabilities are. And I just want to give him time to do that. He's human.
Yeah. And I had this thought with Flo when I was
Mm.
walking on the treadmill that one, he is an extremely hard worker. If you don't think that man is doing everything within his
Yes.
realm of possibility to do what he needs to do to show up the way he wants to
Mhm.
show up on the pitch, that is what he's
Yeah.
doing. This was my other thought because I've seen a lot of, he cost this much, we paid this much in
Mhm.
a transfer fee. Yeah, Liverpool paid a lot, but it was Liverpool that paid it. Like, they weren't coming to me asking for my transfer of money to pay for
Yeah.
Flo. He's our team. He's our player. Like, I
Mm.
want to support, encourage him.
Yes.
I didn't pay $100 million plus for him.
And we've seen in the
Separate that.
past,
That's not
yeah.
our money.
And we've seen in the past, Arne doesn't hesitate to not start players who aren't putting in the effort during
Yeah.
training.
Thank
He's been
you.
very clear about
That's gonna
that.
be my next point.
He's been
Yes.
very clear about that, that if he's not seeing quality in the training, then you're not going to start. And that's okay. You can get there. It's not that he doesn't believe in you as a player. But if he's still starting Flo, is seeing something
Yeah.
good. And he believes that
Oh,
Flo is
absolutely.
working very
Yeah.
hard. And what was there, like usually 4 people on Flo? Like it's a lot. We had some games like that last season with Mo where I was like, it's just not even possible for Mo to get a touch on the ball.
Yeah.
He has to both be creatively or offensively creative and consistently defensive where he's playing and pulling for Flo.
Yeah.
I think it's going to work
He's
out.
going to be just fine.
Yeah. And shout out to Arne. The way that he can retain the information mathematically, just the data that he can pull in and remember things, and he's able to just like move a piece of the puzzle. The way that he can tactfully bring in subs. Oh my gosh, we saw again Rio. Come on, just a few minutes into
Yeah.
it. Arne, I trust him more and I love him more and more every single week. Oh my gosh. He was the perfect addition to our team.
Yeah, adore
Okay.
him.
Speaking of Rio, when I say we saw Annika, the tears, literal tears in eyes, multiple eyes, incredible.
I was gripping onto the TV stand on my knees crying. So you could say it was an exciting moment.
I know. Just to imagine being 16 and in that position and to be around legends on a daily basis playing with them and to be able to step into that moment, get put onto a pitch away from home, live up to it, be ready for the moment. I'm so excited to continue to see him to grow. I also hope people know he is 16 and like he had an incredible moment and he's also going to make mistakes. But I felt like I just watched like my son or someone like I knew do that and was like,
Parasocial relationship.
Yeah,
Listen,
yes.
his birthday is in 2 days. What a way to kick off a birthday week.
Seriously.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And you were talking about him playing next to legends. I probably have watched the clip in all these different angles of him scoring that goal. I couldn't even tell you how many times. It's a lot. There's a point during the celebration where literally Mo just runs up and he's like hugging him and patting him on his head. And I'm like, imagine being a 16-year-old kid, having watched this legend for years, and you just scored a goal and Mo is like basically putting you up on his shoulder and saying, look at how I cannot imagine what this is like for Rio.
I loved watching at the end of the match all the players walk around because you would see them like they looked proud of themselves, but they all looked a little tired and a little, wow, this game really wore me out. And then they would see Rio and each of their faces would just completely light up and be like, and so like the way that they celebrate each other is just so beautiful. And yeah, couldn't stop crying then, couldn't really stop crying about it this morning. So
Okay, I'm sorry, but what an amazing day to wake up on a Tuesday morning watching all of the Rio edits from yesterday. Phenomenal. Sat and watched it for a long time. And Pumpkin Spice is back at Starbucks, and Taylor Swift got engaged. This is a literal perfect Tuesday.
It's a great day.
Like, you can't get better than that. So just had
so
to
good.
shout that out. Also, can we talk about the ref cam? Because that was so much fun. Oh my gosh. Honestly, some of the footage, especially Ryan's goal, it looked like what football and soccer games.
FIFA.
Yeah.
What, like ESPN, EA Sports, like the
Yeah.
simple NFL games that I would play with my brother when we were little. The quality made me think of that.
Yeah.
That was so much fun to get to see that.
Yes. Ref cam was awesome.
I love it. I wish, okay, so very different watching experience, but last season on Dancing with the Stars, a couple of the episodes at the end had just a live stream that was happening on social media outside of what was being broadcast on Disney Plus, ABC, wherever. And I wish there was a ref cam live stream that like you could be on YouTube or TikTok, and like while you're watching the game, there's like a constant ref cam live stream. That is my dream. I love the ref cam. I'm like, send these guys to camera school. Let's give them some experience on how to work the ref cam, the angles. Like maybe we give them some icebreaker questions. Like if there's a dull moment, but they're near a player, it's like, hey, coffee or tea? You know, like what?
No,
just like quick questions. Like give us the live stream ref cam constant. I don't want the replays. I don't want the little clips. Put it on TikTok. Let me stream it while I watch the match.
that is $1 million idea right there. I love it. I know. In the moment, I was like, this is making me a little greedy because now I want a game with the players mic'd up. Like, I want to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know,
I love ref cam. Honestly,
Ref cam
it
is
was the best thing about Simon Hooper is the ref cam. So
The only good thing, really. Hey, the fact that
survived.
VAR actually gave Anthony Gordon a red card was the literal surprise of my life. I was like, there's
I
no
know.
way. There's absolutely no way that they're making this a red. It's going to stay yellow.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all read his Instagram story post, Anthony, after, and I was just like, yeah, that is
Props to him.
yeah.
After the tackle happened, him going over to Virgil and like having conversation and looking at his calf, I was like, okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for being a human being instead of just arguing about it.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of people do, but
and watching the like full interaction play out where Gordon's running like all around the pitch and he's trying to get the ball from he's like in literal turbo mode, and he mismanaged the tackle and it was a red card and it scraped up Virgil's calf. But yeah, seeing his apology and the way that he handled it on the pitch and the way that Newcastle responded with such resiliency, shout out to them.
I kept forgetting they only had 10 people on the pitch. Like huge props to them.
It was huge.
Honestly, really impressive. They give me so much of the ick that I really didn't want those fans to be able to have something to stand on. Thank you, Rio. Because social media would have just been insufferable for days if they had tied. Also, how can you beef with Allie? This burn dude? What was happening?
I don't know. Allison is like the most gentle human. Yeah, I just don't. I would love to know. Honestly, I wish Allie would do like a LFC Instagram takeover and be like, let me tell you. He would never.
No, and Allie would be like,
honest tea.
I'd be like, it's just a miscommunication. And that's what, I mean, with Allie, that's what I have to think. I'm like, it's going to be one-sided. And I'm sure, like, when Allie was walking, following him, Allie's trying to be like, hey, we're good.
Like, the whistle was
worried about
it. Are we good? I just want you to know that I care about you.
No, I don't know what that was about, but you're picking on the wrong person if you want to fight. Allie's not going to give it to you.
No. He's like, I will pray for you. I will pray for you.
Jesus loves you. You were seen and heard and loved deeply. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Annika, who is your player of the week?
I'm going to give it to Curtis Jones.
Oh, I knew you were going to do it.
He was my
Yes.
comfort. He was my teddy bear as I watched that match. If I was feeling stressed, I would just look at Curtis Jones and I would remember everything was going to be okay. He brought me so much peace. And also in the behind the scenes training, he had some good moments at the coffee bar, just hanging out with the lads. So Curtis, as I call him, Safi's husband.
Curtis
Curtis is
Jones
my player of the
X
week.
Gigi's dad collab.
Yeah.
Absolutely the
It's a collab we
best.
love to see. Molly-Ann, what about you?
My player is Dominic Soboslai. He just, I mean, and it is purely because of that match. There is at the moment I have no other reasonings, but that I think is enough. I think I said it all in the beginning. He's a machine. He doesn't stop. He is going from the moment the game starts to the end whistle. He does whatever is asked for of him, and he is selfless for the team. Hands down. We would not have won that game without him.
Absolutely. Okay, Steph.
Mine is Virgil van Dijk. He is and has been my favorite. It's a very close tie between Virgil van Dijk and Alison Becker. I love those two bestie boos so much. But Virgil, the way that he really showed up, really the emotional work that he had to do for himself leading up for the week and just setting all of those guys in the right mindset. So the way that he showed up on the pitch, you could just see Virgil back again in a way that we didn't see in the last couple of weeks. So I was very, very happy to see him and his aura. And when Declan Rice was talking about how Arsenal is going to win the Premier League title this year on stage at the PFA Awards, and Virgil and Mo just looked at each other, and Virgil just like the way that he smiles when he's like, absolutely not. It's just like when he's just mocking people, when he laughs, I just love it so much.
It's such a good sense of humor.
I love him. That is all for this week's episode. We will be back here again next week, but until then, you will never walk alone. Hooray, we did it.
Monica X Hungarian collab.